Hey everyone, it's Casey, and today I'm going to guide you all through a therapy ball release class, and the focus is going to be on the upper body. So specifically, kind of think from rib cage up, okay? Now, I have two therapy balls here. These are the alpha size therapy balls, which means they're the larger size. But smaller works as well. You might need a block in a couple cases to kind of get a little bit deeper into more of the concave curvatures within the upper body. But otherwise, any of the other spots we should be able to target no matter what size the therapy ball is. Now, I'd recommend having two. You can definitely make one work. First, it will be very difficult to make one work. Two would be very, very recommended. You might have to skip over some of the postures if all you have is one. If you do have two, make sure that they're either in a bag, kept together side by side, so we can focus on opening up the spine running down the center, or you can use a sock. If you have that at home, you can just put whatever your therapy balls in there and just tie a little knot on one end, creates the same kind of effect, okay? Like mentioned, block might be nice to have, but you don't really need it. We're basically going to be on our backs, or our bellies rather, but down on in a reclined position for the entirety of the class. Okay, so make sure your props are nearby, they're readily available. We're going to come down onto our back to start, and we'll slowly transition ourselves from our back to our side and onto our bellies. So from your back, legs can do whatever you want them to do. So if you just want them to be bent or straightened out, shavasana, butterflied, it's entirely up to you. I want this practice to feel as though it's tailored to meet your needs. So adjust, find the positioning that feels good, close your eyes, and we're just going to establish a little bit of breath work here together. So exhale, let all of your breath out. Through the nose, start to slowly breathe in. Feel your belly rise. Feel your ribs rise, your chest. Feel your back body pressing into the ground, opening in all directions, and just pause with the breath at the top. And then open up the mouth and exhale, let everything out. Again, slow breath in. Gradually expand through the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Open up the side bodies. Open up the back body. Holding at the top, full expansion through the lungs. And then just open up the mouth, exhale, let it out. One more together. Slow breath in. Really open up down into the belly and lower back. Feel the diaphragm open. Ribs, chest. Feel the lungs stretching as wide as they can. Holding at the top of the breath. And then open up the mouth and exhale, let everything out. Fully surrendered. Fully release. Just let your breath fall back into more of a natural, easy rhythm. Let go of any force or effort. And as it falls into its natural pace, just invite the breath to open into the belly rather than just into the chest. And that way we'll open up a little bit more of that rest and digest mode, calming our nervous system. Okay. Just another breath or two. Allow yourself to just relax and feel the upper body. Notice how it feels today. If there's tension, if there's tightness, sometimes we're facing or dealing with injuries. So just kind of take note of your starting point today. And please listen to your body. If at any point it feels like it's too much, or if you are working with an injury or something, I want you to please, please, please listen to your body and make sure that what you're doing is appropriate for your body. Okay, go ahead and open up through your eyes. We're going to reach over for our therapy balls, keeping them together. Now we're going to open up into the neck. So if you have the larger therapy balls, you should just be able to lift the head and slide your therapy balls to either side. The spine is untouched here, okay? And you just bring it up to the base of your skull. So this is your occipital ridge. And we want to find the ridge, the very end of the skull line, right where it wants to meet with the neck. And you're going to find the therapy balls to just rest into that exact area. I kind of like to hold on to my therapy balls while they're here because they like to slide down into the neck. And once they get into the neck, I don't really feel as much point of tension. I like to get that kind of the base of the ridge, and that way I feel a little more pressure points. Now, if you have the small therapy balls and this is just not feeling it for you, you can also take a block underneath, set the therapy balls on top of the block. The big ones are a lot for me to have the block there. But if you have the smaller ones, the block can help just to create a little push and lift to get a little extra depth in the opening of those pressure points at the base of your skull line. So with or without your block, set up your therapy balls, maybe hold on to them so you can support and stabilize them. And then once you're here, keeping your head evenly resting into the therapy balls, you're going to hold on to the therapy balls and just slowly angle your chin up. Deep breath in. And then exhale, chin to your chest. Feel your head pressing down into the therapy balls as you create these gentle movements. Inhale, pressing the head down as the chin slowly tilts up. And then exhale, chin tilts back down. One more time. Inhale, head tilts up, chin lifts. And exhale, chin to your chest. Now let's kind of neutralize here again. Head is still nice and heavy. And then you're going to rock your head a little over. Let's start with the left side. Rock your head a little over to the left. Okay, and I'm choosing left side just so y'all can see a little bit easier if you need to, okay? So as my head tilts over to the left side, the right side of my head is no longer connected to that right therapy ball, okay? So I'm really just using the left side and feeling the left side of that occipital ridge just really sinking as heavy as you can with gravity down into that therapy ball. I'm still holding on with my right hand, or you can hold on with both hands. That's perfectly fine. But I'm holding on to keep it in that position. Sometimes when I let go, it'll slide around. So just hold it here. Feel the heaviness, and then you're just going to nod yes. Keep your head tilted as you find these little gentle nodding motions. And then neutralize. Keep it over to the left side. And then you're just going to kind of rock your head side to side, like you're saying no, but you're staying on that left therapy ball. Deepen your breath. And then create little circular motions while staying on that left side. Little circles. Go in both directions. And you're just digging into that sweet spot here. Okay, find a really good little sweet spot. And once you find it, just feel your head really pressing down heavy into it and hold for just a couple deep breaths on your own. If it's too much, you can back off a little bit, or if it's a lot of energy, maybe you just open up your mouth and sigh out a little bit of that extra energy and heat. And then relax, let your head rock back to center. And then just take a moment to observe difference between left and right side. And then we're going to slowly start to tip the head over to the right side, feeling the left side kind of lift up and away. So now full weight is resting on this right side here. Feel the heaviness of your head. Just a couple breaths and just kind of feel it out. Now, as you keep your head tilted to the right side, hold on with your hands as much as you need. And then you're just going to gently nod your head yes while keeping it tilted to the right. And then go ahead and shake your head no. Very gentle here. You're not letting your left side touch all the way down. You're keeping it isolated on the right side. Head is still nice and heavy. And then find some circular motions. Start in one direction first. Nice and slow. Start to feel out. Switch directions. And then I want you to find a sweet spot. Once you find the sweet spot, stay still, deepen your breath, and then feel the heaviness of your head pressing down into that therapy ball. If you need to open up the mouth, let go of some of that trapped energy, please do. One more breath. Let the head gently rock back to center. And just for a moment, lift your head, remove the therapy balls, and then just let your head lay flat down on the ground. Now, as it rests flat, just take a moment to observe all the sensations that start to come up, all that release. Okay. We're going to stay on our backs. Grab your therapy balls. We're going to do the same setup. Lift the head. You're going to start by placing them underneath the neck, okay? But what we're going to try to tap into is the tops of the shoulders, okay? We're going to allow the therapy ball to come right underneath the tops of the shoulders, so not over the top, okay? So if I was to roll down here towards the tops of the shoulders and just rest back, okay? My shoulders are pretty much still on the ground. The shoulders are going to have a little bit of lift off the ground to make sure that the therapy balls are firmly underneath, not just slightly out to the side. So go ahead and lift your head, kind of curl up through your shoulders, take your hands and help to press the therapy balls down until they're at the tops of your shoulders, okay? Now notice I'm not at the top of the shoulders to where it's going to just slide right up, but it's the tops of the shoulders on the back side of my body, okay? Now you can press your feet a little bit, scoot the hips, and then you can rock up onto it even more. Notice now my shoulders are completely lifted off the ground, but the therapy balls are still really high on my shoulders, right into our trapezius muscles, the top of our traps, okay? It's exactly what we're looking for. You can either just let your head drop back down to the ground, or you can take a block underneath the head if the head is not reaching the ground comfortably here, okay? Or a blanket or a pillow, whatever you have at home. But let's keep the therapy balls nicely rested into the tops of our shoulders on the back side of the body. Then we're going to slowly reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breath. Slowly start to stretch the arms back behind you. So you're trying to reach your fingers back and down slightly towards the ground. They don't have to touch, okay? Just a general direction. And then you're going to bend your elbows like cactus shape or like little goalpost arms and feel the heaviness in your elbows. And then keep the heaviness in the elbows as you sweep your arms down to your sides. Let's do that again. Arms reach up. Deepen your breath. Slowly start to reach back over your head, down towards the ground as much as you can. Feeling the opening up through the rib cage, the upper back. And then bending your elbows, goalpost your arms. Heavy elbows, and then gently sweep them all the way down to the sides. Now, go ahead and take your hands and then just kind of drop them towards your ears. They're not holding on to anything. They're just kind of hanging out here with the bend into the elbows. Elbows are pointing upward towards the ceiling. Now you're going to focus specifically on the elbows here. Hands are going to stay next to the ears. They can kind of hold around the back of the head or neck. That's totally fine, okay? You're going to draw big circles with your elbows, spinning the elbows away and back in. I don't like holding onto the head personally because my hands like to move a lot. Okay, but if you want to connect hands, you can do that as well. But I want you to find a nice big circular motion. And then switch directions, opposite circle. Couple more rounds, nice and slow. All right. Okay. Now, elbows drop back down to your sides, arms drop back down to your sides. Now, bend the knees, feet walk in towards the hips. Now, from here, in fact, let's lift the head a little bit and interlace your hands behind the back of the head. We're going to start it off here. Okay, so your hands are helping to support your head. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to slowly press to the feet, see if you can lift the hips. If that's too much, you can keep the hips down and just press to the feet, alleviating some of the weight off of the hips as much as you can tolerate here while still maintaining nice, smooth breath. If you're holding your breath, you've gone too far. But otherwise, hips lift up and just feel more and more of that weight angling down towards the tips of your shoulders. And then we're going to press to the feet a little bit, and we're just going to slide the therapy ball down just a little bit. So now it's kind of in between the shoulder blades, but kind of still above that bra strap line, okay? Drop the hips back down, release the head. Head can drop to the floor, block, or whatever you'd like. And now we're going to open up the arms nice and wide out to the sides. And then from here, palms up, you're going to cross the arms over the chest. Let's take right arm over the top first. Cross over the chest as much as you can. Try to grab around the outsides of the arms or shoulders, okay? And now from here, I want you to round your upper back and shoulders. Try to walk the hands closer towards each other. And as you do this, you're going to notice you're creating a broadening through your upper back. And then I want you to just kind of sway side to side. Just feel a little weight tip to the left, a little weight tip to the right, and just kind of feel into that going back and forth, like kneading into that space a few more rounds. Nice. And then go ahead and open the arms back down to the sides, and then feet walk in. You can keep the arms down to your sides. If you like to lift the head and cradle the head with your hands, you're welcome to do that as well. But we're going to lift the hips as best as we can. And now we're going to slide the therapy balls down until they're around bra strap lines. Now you've cleared your shoulders. You're right underneath. And as you've cleared your shoulders, let's try to keep the head lifted. And you're just going to kind of lean your upper body towards the left and then lean it towards the right. And just do that a couple more times, side to side. And as you come to center, you can either just stay here if it feels good, or you can start to slide down until you get to the lower ribs. Don't go past that. Just go down to the end of your ribs and then roll it all the way back up towards the tips of your shoulders. Now, if you have a loose shirt like I do, sometimes it gets caught underneath your therapy balls. Okay, so adjust accordingly from here, okay? Now, hips lift up. I'm going to press, and I'm going to roll them down, and I'm going to roll them back up. Down, and up. And just continue working that full length of your upper back from your shoulders down to the end of your ribs. And if you want, you can just go directly forward and back, okay? Or if you find a sweet spot, you can stop and just hang out there. You can always drop the hips if you need to settle in a little bit deeper. You can also do that little swaying side to side. I want you to play into it here. Find those positions that feel good for you to tap in a little bit deeper into that upper body. Couple more breaths, whatever variations, movements, or stillness that you want, invite it in, but we're staying localized in this specific area. All right, so when you're done, you're going to roll the therapy balls back up towards the tops of the shoulders until they meet towards the neck, and then you can just let it roll up to the neck, release it out to the side, and then just let your head drop heavy. And just take a moment to feel. Feel that nice opening. Your shoulders should feel so much more loosened up by now as well. Okay. Grab your therapy balls. We're going to start on the left side, or I'm going to start on my left side. You can do the same as well, but just make sure you can look forward and see me. Okay. So I'm going to come up onto my left side. And I'm going to come up onto my left forearm here, okay? Now, with the therapy balls, we're going to target right underneath the shoulder blade, kind of think around the armpit area. And if we go into the armpit, we're going to really target towards either side. So one's going to be a little bit on the front, one's going to be a little bit on the back, right scooping underneath that armpit shoulder area, okay? So let's walk the left arm forward and just slide until you feel the therapy ball. And now as you feel the therapy balls on either side, we're kind of scooping around the armpit area. Okay, and then I like to take the left arm in front of me here. And if you can adjust, but stay on your side. It might feel like a lot already, okay? And if so, that's totally fine. Left palm can be down or you can flip it up. Either way is fine, okay? Now, as you find that sweet spot, maybe you feel a little bit more weight distribution forward or back, okay? Right fingertips can be in the ground in front of you or rest them anywhere you'd like. And you're just gonna kind of open up a little bit, open up the chest, it's not very much. And then just kind of roll it back down. If you don't feel anything, readjust. Rolling it back, rolling it a little bit forward. Readjust. Find that area where you're able to kind of tap in. Maybe it feels better to elevate the arm over. This one I like to play with. Sometimes it feels good to have my arm over my head. Sometimes I like it at a little 45-degree angle. Sometimes I like it directly in front, okay? It's entirely up to you how you want to work that out for yourself, okay? But now that we've gone forward and back and kind of opened and closed it back down, now we're going to focus on drawing our head towards the back of the mat and then drawing it back towards the front of the mat and just kind of rocking up, down, side to side until you feel a nice connecting point into all the attaching areas around this armpit line, okay? Just another couple breaths. We're going to target a little bit more into the back of our left shoulder. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to face the opposite direction so you can see a little bit better. But I'm going to come up real quick. You can stay where you are. What we're going to be focusing on is taking the arm over and we're going to be targeting right into the back of that shoulder. There's a little bit of if you take your right hand, you can kind of feel into the back of your left shoulder, right where it joins with the head of your upper arm. And there's a little bit of a kind of tender space in there. I'm going to swing around the other side so you can see here. My left arm, instead of being overhead, I'm going to take it out to the side so I can really make sure that there's lots of space here to cover. I'm only going to really use one of the therapy balls, but I'm just going to rest the back of that left shoulder. I'm not all the way on my back. I'm on my side. And just think about the joint where your upper arm kind of meets into that shoulder head. That's what we're looking for here. So you're just going to let yourself sink heavy onto it. And then same thing we did before. You're going to kind of open up the chest a little bit and then close the chest back down and then open it back up. Close it back down. Just do that a couple more times. Feel into the space of the shoulder, the deltoids, that back body. Give yourself another breath here. Okay, now you can stay still. Maybe it feels good to kind of rock up and down a little bit, get a little deeper into that sweet spot. Please be gentle with yourself. You're just slowly rocking and transitioning and letting it kind of knead through all of the tension, the tightness, those little balls of stress that we feel. Easing through. All right. Then you're going to slowly lean forward towards the arm, press to your right hand, and come up. Now, as I come up, I'm going to switch here once again, just so y'all can see. Now, instead of having my left arm overhead or in front of me, I'm going to swing it all the way around to the side, and I'm going to come onto my belly. Okay. Now the area we're going to focus on is going to be right into the front of the shoulder. Okay. So as I come down, I'm going to take one of my therapy balls and I'm just going to bring it right into the front of my shoulder, kind of right where the chest meets in with that same socket where the upper arm and the shoulder meet, okay? But now I'm on the front side. And as I come to the front side with my belly down, left arm to left side, palm down, okay? And then I'm gonna press through my right hand, bend my right knee, and I'm just gonna kind of let myself roll open onto it, okay? If you're not sure if you got it, you probably didn't. Readjust your ball, get it right into that little socket, that little connecting joint, okay? And then once you're here, you can keep your head up and just kind of open up, close it back down. Just do that a few more rounds, taking really slow, deep, and intentional breath. Feel out that chest. Feel out that shoulder. How do the sensations feel in the body? And then I'm going to slowly roll back over onto my belly. And then I'm going to press up, tabletop position, and then sweep around to the other side. So I'm actually going to switch directions just so I can face towards the camera. You don't have to do all that. You can face away from me. But we're going to start by being up on our right side. Come up onto your right forearm, and let's take the therapy balls either side as you lower down and get right into that armpit pocket. Okay, as you find the armpit pocket, right arm can stay overhead. It can reach 45, or it can be directly out to the side. Palm can be down, or it can flip up. Either way is just fine. Now, as you're here, left fingertips can be in the ground in front of you if you'd like, and just kind of open up the chest slightly and close the chest back down. Open up the chest and close it back down. Just do that a few more rounds. Notice the sensation, and if it's different than the other side, take note of that. Maybe it's what we do every single day, our lifestyle. All of these things feed into how we feel. Okay, maybe you even rock forward and back a little bit, getting deeper into that space. Notice if there's any areas that are almost unbearable. Just be aware of where the tension is in your body, okay? Now, once you're here, we're going to take the arm in front of you if it's not there already. We're going to lift up slightly, and we're going to take that therapy ball, remember, to the outside of the shoulder on the back side. So I'm placing just one of the therapy balls here. My right arm reaches in front, and I'm going to lower that back of the shoulder down onto it. Think right where that joint is. Top of the arm meets into the socket, and I'm finding that point. And then I'm going to just kind of open up the chest, close it down. Same steps. I'm opening up the chest, closing it back down. And just do that a few more times here, nice and easy. Nice. Maybe do a little forward and back if that feels good. Very subtle. Deepen your breath. All right. And then we're going to slowly lean forward. Press your left hand, come up onto your forearms and roll onto the belly. Okay. Now remember, we're going to get to the inside front of that right shoulder with our therapy ball now. Right arm is going to reach directly out to the right side. So as I reach my right arm to the right side, directly out from my shoulder, I'm going to take my one therapy ball down to the front of my chest, as close to the shoulder as I can. Make sure y'all can still hear me with my microphone. Okay, so once I have that, right arm out to the side, make sure you have a nice placement for the therapy ball first, left hand underneath the shoulder, bend the left knee, and just kind of roll open the chest a little bit. If you didn't find it, readjust it maybe a little higher or lower, get into that little pocket, and then just feel the right shoulder heavy as the left shoulder kind of opens up a little bit here. You can give little close and opens just to add a little bit of that kneading effect that we've been working into the practice. Let's just do a few more breaths. Last one here. And then roll back down onto your chest, press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. You can set your therapy balls out of the way. We are done with them for the day. Close your eyes, lift your spine. And as you lift the spine, lift the shoulders up towards the ears, pull them back and release them all the way down the back. Hands joined together, heart center. And just take a moment to feel over your body, feel the upper parts, maybe roll the shoulders out a couple times. Thank your bodies for all that they can do for you, showing them that love and attention that they deserve from working so hard for us day in and day out. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning into today's class. Hopefully this was a nice complement to kind of releasing into the excess tension that we feel into our shoulders and our upper body. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing y'all soon.